All right, now we're going to put the saddle on spring. Okay. Now this is her first time, right? Second? Okay. So I can't overemphasize how important it is this first time. I don't want her stepping sideways, and I don't want her nipping at me like she just did. I want her standing still, because this is going to make an impression on her for the rest of her life. That she needs to know that when I'm standing here and David's standing there, this is all business. It's not play. We're not going to chase her around like a colt. We're going to treat her like a big girl. She's staying still. So we're going to start out today like we want to end up. Whoa. Whoa. So she starts puffing air and thinks she's going to get a whooping. No, you're not going to get a whooping. But you're sure going to make things complicated today if you don't understand this. Whoa. Yep. But remember, when we first started this morning, she was the one kicking and acting foolish. So you could expect this. There's nothing wrong with this. This is actually very good, considering the circumstance. You see her ears, David? Her back. And they come forward. Her eyes look a little bit uncertain. So we have not occupied her mind yet. We have not accomplished mind occupation. All right, go ahead and pause it, Joyce. And we're going to work here just a little bit. All right, so now what we're going to do is put our saddle on. And if she moves to the side, then we're going to take it off. And we're going to keep doing it till she stands still. Okay? There. Very nice. So the girth underneath her and all the motion and the straps flapping and carrying on. See, we took care of all that when we used our bags and prepared her for things up underneath her. So she's standing here like a lady. Now we're not going to tighten this thing too tight. We're just going to snug it up just enough to hold the saddle on, so if she were to take off bucking, your saddle's not going to get damaged, okay? Because I've seen them at this stage just, now see how, now wait, stop. See those ears? Laying back? That's not a good sign, okay? All right, see her back legs up under her? She's ready to take a hold, okay? See, when I go to back her, how she's stiff. See her ears? Be careful. Because she could take off bucking like a hootenanny. Okay. So we're just gonna hold that tongue of the latigo in your hand, where if she were to take off, you can tighten that thing to where your saddle's not gonna come off. All right, so go ahead now, just snug it on up and be real nice about it. Be real nice about it. So that's about tight enough to hold it on if she were to have a, yeah. So most horses you get aren't used to a back girth. Well, these horses need to, first day, put the back girth on, doggone it. There's no sense doing it wrong the first day, just do it right from the beginning. I'm going to tack this horse up first day just like I am on the last day. See that sassiness is going to get corrected. Don't allow it. Whoa. Don't allow it. Yep. Her ears are forward now. She's licking her lips. But you know, she could be a little turd if we let her be here. So she's part quarter horse. And her ancestors out in Texas, they all buck for 10 minutes before you ride them. Her dam was a bronc? Well, oh yeah. All right, so your latigos, your girth's tight enough now to suit you. Okay, so here's your rope. Now be careful, be careful. Just be careful. So now take your horses and just take them in a circle now, and we're going to turn them, and we're going to work them in a soft circle. And if they're to buck and act up, we're going to correct them, pull their nose to the center. You don't ever want to let a horse buck. It's kind of like a dog killing chickens. Once they start, it's real hard to break that habit. They think that's an option. They think that's an alternative. It's not an alternative, and it is not an option. This is not the rodeo. See how she's got her back humped up? David, can you pick up on that? Okay. Come on out here where she can get a little better shot of you, okay? See how that saddle's sticking up in the back? Well, that could create a problem if you got up there. So now what we got to do is establish the same relaxation we had in these horses without a saddle on, with a saddle on. And unfortunately, we got to keep doing this till we got it. But what happens if somebody saddles a horse up and gets up on him and he's never turned with a saddle on his back before? That's why you need to do your turns like this. He needs to know what that feels like on his back when he turns, and he needs to feel what that girth feels like. Okay? Because I will tell you, Spring, if she wanted to, she could put her head down and buck like the best of them. But we're not going to allow that to happen if we can help it. A good horseman is rather offended if his horse bucks. That tells us he really hadn't done his homework. There's no glory in being a cowboy here or riding out a buck, in my opinion. And anybody that thinks that way has a hard time making a living at this, I can tell you that, because they spend a whole lot of time recovering from injuries. There's some guys I know that every time I've seen them for the last 25 years, they've had a black eye or a broken arm or a busted rib or something. They think that's cute, and I don't. I don't think it's cute at all. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to take my handy little rope right here, put it around there. When he goes around, he's going to give that back girth a little tug. Okay. So when she gets sassy like that, David, just take your hand and tug her. Give her a tug and like a little snap with your hand and correct her. Like, no, we're not doing that. So put that on the back girth like his. Do the same thing. So you would say that the red horse's mother was certainly a below average horse, right? And you don't even own her anymore. Somebody else does. Or who knows where she ended up.